All right, that should be it. I believe we are on episode 25, maybe? That's
Is it?
us.
My goodness.
Yep.
Quarter of a century.
Yeah, so like I was saying, ever since I had that soup, that bat soup in that, Chinese wet market, my taste has never been the same. I'm
Yeah.
so glad I got out of that country before all the lockdowns, though.
They do say it's one of the side effects of bat soup.
Can you imagine if you're actually I was thinking about this today, if you're the actual ground zero patient of that, like,
Yeah. And no one knows who it is.
well, I mean, you'd
Just like,
probably know, right? Like, if you're the first person, you'd be like, well, yeah, I mean, I had all of those
yeah.
symptoms way before anyone mentioned it.
Yeah. It's part of my bat licking fetish.
Is that a make-out session? um, but I mean, wouldn't you like have the antibodies as well? So you'd be like the best person to get the
Yes, but you would also probably want to keep your mouth shut if you're in China.
oh yeah, yeah, you'd end up on the menu pretty quick.
Yeah, it would be like, no, 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 it wasn't me. I was just sneezing. I'm fine.
That's right. Yeah. Um. No, what was I saying? Yeah, that's right. We're going into another MCO here because
Hmm.
I'm calling it the YMCO this one because like why
Why?
why are we doing this?
They should put that in a newspaper headline.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they did that for the last one, but I mean, no, it was crazy. The first one they announced it on like a day or two ago,
Yeah,
and they were telling us, oh, the schools will be shut down from what is it, the 12th or the 16th or something like that. No, the 17th to the 20 something.
for
Basically, oh, sorry, the 14th to
coming
the
coming
28th.
coming up.
Yeah, yeah, for this one
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah, yeah,
we're at the end of Ramadan, so we have the Hari
yeah,
Raya,
yeah, yeah.
and that's the time when everyone, they call it Balik Kampong. They all head back to their like little village places, or
Oh,
it's
okay.
basically you go back to your hometown.
Yeah. So it's like the Chinese New Year, where
Yeah,
everyone just like goes
yeah,
and just
exactly.
goes everywhere.
Um,
Yeah.
but that's like 70% of the population will be doing that, and so
Hmm.
they kind of were
So they're
worried
like,
about
oh
that.
dear.
But they didn't want to
Yeah,
stop it. And so they were saying,
yeah.
go do it, but we're just going to close the schools down so that when you come back, we're kind of limiting movement around a lot.
Oh, okay.
Because they noticed
So
once,
it's like a preemptive
yeah,
thing as opposed to a.
yeah, which was
Okay.
smart. It was smart.
Yeah.
Uh, but just yesterday, they announced, nope, we're going to have an actual MCO, movement control order in place.
Yeah.
No travel between the states. All these places will be locking down. No more dining in restaurants. All that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we didn't find out until like, what? Our school finishes at 4. We found out at 3:55. You don't have to come in tomorrow. It's all closing.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And so that jumped ahead to the 6th rather than like the start of next week or halfway through whatever of
So it must
next
have
week.
been like a
Yeah.
government thing.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what happens every
Yeah.
time here. They like give us not even 24 hours notice and they just go and shut everything down. So at like 3:55, I'm there looking at my office going, all right, I'm just going to pack everything up because I don't know when I'm going to be allowed
Yeah.
back in. I just
Yeah.
had a blanket. I literally just stuffed everything into the blanket and folded up and walked out like a hobo
That's crazy.
and yeah, just dragged it all off.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But because of that, yeah, we're trying to get a few things done. They have this thing here
So,
called the Ramadan buffet, where they have
okay.
like because the people doing Ramadan don't eat during the day or like sun
Yeah.
up to
Yeah.
sundown. So at 7:20, they
Yeah.
put on a feast, And so,
Oh, okay. So even if you're not part of it, you can just go.
yeah, just everywhere does it. All the restaurants do it,
Oh,
everything.
that's cool.
So
Yeah.
we just like booked a place, and I'm hoping to hear back from them today actually, because they said they had a table spare. So I'm hoping to book that for them, because we still have tomorrow before the lockdown kicks in on the 7th.
So does everyone go nuts like here and buy everything?
I mean, most people here use a bidet, so the toilet paper is
Mm,
is not as bad. They didn't have limits on it. But the like the Maggie Me, the
yeah.
2 minute noodles kind of thing, yeah,
Yeah.
that's gone from the shelves.
I'm
Um,
telling you that in February was the March probably actually was the craziest. I've never seen like the shops just look like third world shops. Like there was nothing in them.
that's so crazy.
Like I was trying to get noodles, couldn't get any noodles.
Do you reckon if
Like
they did like a lockdown for you again, the same thing would happen? Or people
yeah,
realized,
it
oh no,
happens every time. Like Melbourne's done a couple of them, and every time there's like people rushing out to buy stuff. But it's kind of like a self-fulfilling thing because it's like
all right,
you think people are like because it happened in America first, right?
yeah,
And everyone panicked and ran out there.
yeah,
And then Australia saw that, like all the Australians saw that, was like, oh, well, I better panic and run out there. And so then, like, and then you're kind of forced to
because the
because
shelves are bare.
because everyone's buying everything. So you're like, well, I've got to now buy a whole bunch of stuff because if I buy my normal week's groceries, I'm going to rock up next week and there's not going to be anything. Because everyone's just panic buying. Because you don't know how long the panic's going to last. So it's
Yeah,
like,
but the shops stay open, right?
the big shops did, yeah. Casuarina closed pretty much completely,
All right,
like except for the big shops.
all right, yeah, right.
Yeah,
What was that
yeah.
like?
Because it was all. Didn't notice it. I mean,
Like,
it.
like, were you walking around inside the center, or do you
Yeah,
only
yeah.
get
It's like
access to the?
no, they had like cages, like they put like
Right,
fences, like they normally do at night, where they're like, because Woolworths and Coles stays open later than everything else, and then they just block those off so you can just get to them.
right.
Um, but yeah, no, during the day it was just dead. But that only lasted a little bit, and then Darwin never got it, so then didn't care,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and
right.
now no one cares. It's like it's
Yeah,
Corona just feels like something I hear about every so often now,
yeah.
and I don't think about.
That's the rest of the world's problem. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh man, it's so freaky. They had the same thing here about the AstraZeneca. Like people started panicking about it
the
not
blood
it's
clots.
causing blood clots. Yeah. And the
Yeah,
government's
yeah.
like, "No, it's look, it's not that big a deal." And people are like, "No,
Mm,
you're not going to make me take it." So they went,
yeah,
"Well, we've already got a whole stack of the vaccines here. So tell you what, first come, first serve basis. We're not going to wait for the phases or whatever. If you sign up and you want it, you can have it."
wow,
And so, like,
that's pretty
obviously,
smart.
on the day that they put that announcement out, the things just got booked out. Like, it's just
Yeah, yeah,
completely booked out.
yeah, yeah,
Because yeah, it's obvious there's like a few people that have a big mouthpiece that are like, no, it's so dangerous, stop it. But everyone else is like, come on, it's like a 0.00004% chance of getting a
yeah.
blood clot or something.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was reading something. Oh no, I was listening to Brett and Heather Weinstein,
Yeah,
and they were talking about how there was a new study that they hadn't read the study because it hadn't been released to like whatever they could get access to,
yeah,
but they read the like I don't know what do you call the front of it, the reader
abstract.
or the abstract, and it was saying that the spike protein um, they're finding that the spike protein is responsible for a lot of the um, inflammatory responses in people. So people that get the virus
Yeah.
This isn't about the vaccines. This is just the people that get the virus.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the actual disease is just the body reacting to the spike proteins. It's not actually
Oh.
the actual virus itself. And they said that it. But the problem is that all the vaccines are based on the spike protein. So
Oh.
it's like they're saying it could have that could be the reason why there's such severe side effects because the um, the actual virus itself isn't causing a lot of the illness. It's just this protein
What's the
and the way the body reacts to it.
what's the purpose of the spike protein? Is that the
Hmm. It's just what it uses to bind to the
oh,
stuff. It's like
right.
it's just a protein on the outside of the cell. It's those little knobbly bits that you see on all the
Oh
pictures.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So it's basically that's what the Pfizer has the mRNA for.
Yeah,
So
right.
that the mRNA gets injected into you, passes through your cell membranes, and then your cells start producing that mRNA writes itself into your cell's DNA, and it starts producing spike protein. So the cells that get infected with the mRNA vaccine start producing spike protein, and then your body attacks them.
Yeah.
And so they're suggesting, but again, they haven't read the study.
Sure.
Not sure how um, amazing. And I think it's just an early thing anyway. But
Right.
it's just an interesting observation that perhaps um, a lot of the problem is that the body's overreacting to that because a lot of it is the cytokine storms that they're having is what's killing a lot of people. Is the body just like turning on itself and
Trying to destroy
attacking
these.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it
Right.
finishes off with all the virus, and it just starts attacking healthy cells because it's
Right. Because that's
that's
what they
just the
do.
virus.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the virus. That's
Right.
not the vaccines. I mean, it's the vaccines as well, but
Right. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything bad about the Pfizer one. I don't know if they're suppressing it or if it's just not happening yet.
no, they're having issues with the heart inflammation. So you're getting inflammatory response around the heart wall, and
Okay, good.
like yeah, there's like again the problem is everything's early days, so it's like there's
Yeah.
nothing that most of it's anecdotal, most of it's like this guy took the vaccine and then had this,
Yeah.
and then there's another guy that took it and had this, and another person took it and had this.
Yeah.
But it's like, how many people do you have until you have an actual,
Yeah, you need the mass
um,
data. Yeah.
yeah, and it's too late once. That's the problem. It's like it's too late once you have the mass data to
Yeah.
save all the people.
Yeah, yeah. We needed a sample size of 10 million and 9 million of
Yeah,
them
and
died. So this is a bad
yeah,
one.
and
Yeah.
yeah, whoops.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's kind of I kind of agree with what they're saying now with like it hasn't been studied long enough and
Well, we're still technically in third phase human trials.
yeah,
That's
which
what we're
is just
currently in.
everyone.
Yeah.
And
Assuming you haven't skipped any of the steps.
well, but the thing is like I was really gung ho about it. I was like, yep, if you guys think you have a vaccine, get it.
Yeah.
Like I'll take it, no worries.
Juice me up. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you just see like Pfizer made 3.5 billion and are announcing now that maybe this has to become a yearly shot. And it's
Yeah.
come on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah. See how long they can
it's
fearmonger profit margins for.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, it's crazy.
You know, and they're ask,
I did sign up for the AstraZeneca one, like I put it on,
yeah,
but it's like you gotta have 12 weeks between shots.
yeah, Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't physically do that, like, because I'm not going to be in the
Oh, you
same
won't be
country.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to try and call the Australian government, like whoever it is. I'll just call up Scott Morrison.
Yeah.
Scotty, mate. Can I get an actual second shot? Because it should be the same
Oh,
vaccination
if it's
regardless of where.
AstraZeneca, it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same product anywhere, and that's at
Yeah.
least one
Yeah.
that Australia recognises. But I'm not sure whether they'll allow that, so keep it posted on that one. But it'd be good
Mm.
to at least have the first shot, because even from the first shot, you have an immunity response, and
Yeah, it's supposed to lessen the effect of the virus
yeah, and the
if you get
second
it.
one's just the booster to keep the system active with the antibodies longer.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, if we can get it, but it's not for another month, but
Okay.
it's still something I'm going to debate whether or not having. Like, we had the opportunity to sign up at midday, and I was chatting with like Ramiro about it, and we just took ages to decide, are we going to do this,
Mm.
are we not going to do this? I really don't know. We ended up, I think, booking in at about 4 o'clock, and we
Yeah.
had to because it was just about all
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
booked out by that stage.
Gosh.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we just didn't know. It's really one of those things, like, I just don't know. I know people who have now had the first shot and are totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know the long-term effects yet, and if I can hold off for as long as possible for that. But
Yeah. And there's
that would
heaps
be
of
for the
people that
best.
are there's a large percentage. I think it's like 16% that like take 2 or 3 days off
Oh, really?
to
'Cause it,
recover from it. Yeah.
right.
It's like, and then there's like another percent that like needs hospitalization, which is smaller, and it's like a gradation.
Oh,
But it's not. The thing is, it's not like all the other vaccines that we have.
no.
It's like
Well,
I've given my daughter vaccines
yeah.
since she was a kid, and at most it's crying for a half an hour and then done,
And then
and then you
lollipop
don't
and
even
you're fine. Yeah.
yeah, and then you never think about it again.
Yeah. Well,
You know, and it's like this one is more like, well, you may do this and it may do that, and you could get joint pains, you could have like a severe inflammatory response,
no,
you
Ramiro
might get
had
a
a
rash all over your body.
yeah, yeah.
It's like
Slight chance of
it's
death. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
No, Ramiro had a tetanus shot. She cut herself with, like,
Mm,
whatever when she was cooking, and we're just thinking, oh, you better, because some of the food there is not super clean, and she was like
yeah,
cutting
yeah,
the mold off, whatever. Um, and so we thought, better get one. She gets the shot, and it took 4 weeks. She ended up with like inflammation on the arm at the
wow,
shot site. It was hard and
yeah,
hot, and she had to go on a
wow,
4-week antibiotic course to
jeez,
kill this thing off, to whatever was going on in there.
antibiotics.
Yeah,
What did she get infected with?
don't know. That's what we were thinking. It's like, why are you on antibiotics? Surely it's an
If it's a
inflammation issue.
and
But
it's an antiviral.
I don't know. But
Yeah,
the doctors just like, no, you need to go on antibiotics, and you need to do it for
yeah,
quite a while. And it eventually faded away. But that was just from a tetanus shot. Like, I've had a stack
yeah,
of those when I was a kid, because I kept cutting
yeah.
myself on things all the
You're
time.
meant to get one every 10 years.
All right. God, I don't know what my last
And
one was.
I got one when I was a tradie and cut my leg open, and it
Yeah.
was sore for a day. Apparently, tetanus, you can get a sore arm for a couple. It feels like a dead arm sometimes. That's what
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah. No, she had the
But
full reaction to it.
wow,
But I mean, I've had
yeah.
reactions to the flu shot. I'd have to take a few days off from one of
Okay.
those. Those were pretty tough as well. But
But
um,
that's a flu. Like you
yeah,
get the flu sensations.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they
These
always
are
come when, like, it's the middle of allergy season, so my body's immune system's already, like,
yeah,
completely out of whack. But yeah, it's weird, because that hesitancy is now, apparently it's sweeping across
everywhere.
America. They've apparently got
Yeah,
50% of the population that have at least had one shot,
yeah,
which is pretty. That's a pretty good
yeah.
rollout. But they're saying
in
now,
100 days as well. Yeah.
yeah, they're saying now they have all these centers with like thousands, tens of thousands of spots available, and no one's taking it. Just that
Yeah.
people aren't lining up anymore.
Well, again, it's like I think we were talking about last week. It's that whole thing of like I don't want to go in and have my death caused by a small decision.
Yeah,
It's I don't. It's like such a focal point.
yeah,
It's like, okay, I'm going into this. I'm going to sit down. They're going to inject me with something, and then there's a tiny percent chance that I die,
yeah. I think they
which is
should give people the risks of like, here's your option, right? You've got a 0.000 or 1 in 250,000 chance of dying from the injection. Now you have like a 1 in 100,000 chance of contracting corona, and then from that you have like a whatever percent chance of dying from that.
yeah,
So here's your two options, you know?
yeah. Well, that's what Joe Rogan got in trouble. Um, all the people jumped on him, and Dr. Fauci stormed in, and I think even the White House commented.
Oh, yeah, I heard he
Um,
spoke to them about something.
well, he was talking to a guy, and he was like, if I was giving advice to a 20-something, a healthy 20-year-old,
Mm,
I'd say I wouldn't bother getting the injection because you're healthy. You'll probably shake the virus off very quickly, and it's just not worth the risk. And then Dr. Fauci jumped in and was like, well, you're not protecting other people.
yeah.
And then Joe Rogan shot back on his next one. Well, that's who you should be giving the injections to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's like, you should be getting the kids and the young adults who aren't affected by it.
Yeah.
But now they're pushing to have like the vaccines in 3 to 12-year-olds, and like
Well, that's
it's
20% of the population, so that's, a fair
yeah,
margin of profit you're missing out on.
exactly. And the thing with that is what happens if they get a severe reaction? Like it's one thing for me to have
Yeah.
aching bones, fevers, like inflammation across my body. It's like I'm not going to be like, Daddy, my elbows hurt. Like, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't want to have to deal with that.
No.
It's like I
No.
don't want to see
You don't
my
want to be.
daughter like go through that. I don't want to like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah. Yeah. You imagine you're the
yeah,
poor family that has the kid that has the bad reaction and they die.
this is it. And it's like,
It's like, was this necessary? How many child deaths were there before this vaccine? I mean,
and that's exactly it. It's like they've been spending this whole time saying it's safe, like for kids to go to school and stuff,
yeah.
and now they're like,
Yeah. I was watching
let's vaccinate them.
what's his name, John Oliver, talk about the vaccination. I haven't finished it yet, but he made a good point about he's saying get vaccinated. Go and get vaccinated because you need a certain number to hit that herd immunity. And if you don't hit that herd immunity level, sure, a lot of people are mitigating the severe effects, but you're still allowing a higher level of transfer amongst of this virus, which allows for a higher chance of mutation to occur, which then
Oh yeah,
renders your
yeah,
vaccine useless if it
yeah,
mutates in a
yeah,
way that protects against the vaccine.
yeah,
And so he's
totally.
like, go out, get as many people vaccinated as possible so that we can kill this thing. We can stop it from mutating any further.
No, I agree with that, and that's how they should have pushed the lockdowns in the beginning.
Oh God, yeah.
Like that's what I was saying. I was actually talking to my wife about it. I was like, the main thing they should have done when it first came out was like, look, guys, we don't want this to mutate.
Yeah,
Everyone stay at home, and please, like, we got to stop the mutations.
yeah,
Instead, they gave this whole like, it was very wishy-washy. It was very
yeah,
authoritarian, um, and people rebelled against it, and
yeah.
so it failed.
And they kept
And
passing the
it's
buck of responsibility. It's like, we're not doing
yeah,
it at a federal level, you can take care of it at a state level.
yeah,
And the
exactly.
states were like,
And
what?
I mean, plus you had Trump in America who was like, what did he say? It'll just go away like a miracle, and don't worry about it. It was,
Inject detergent, you'll be great. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He had some bizarre statements. So
Yeah,
You had
bizarre.
ineffectual leadership, and you had like this. Because even Fauci like lied in the beginning and said you don't need masks because they were worried that they weren't going to be able to get enough masks
Oh yeah,
for
the health workers and stuff.
the health workers. So he said, "Oh no, no, masks aren't effective. You don't need them."
It's crazy.
And it was actually in this, the guidelines.
Mm.
Don't wear masks. And then three
Yeah.
months later, once they got enough, then they're like, "Okay, yeah, no, everyone has to wear
You
masks."
should have been wearing these, people. Come on.
Yeah. And then it turned into double masking, and now they're like, oh, even if you've been vaccinated, you should be wearing a mask.
Oh yeah.
And
Get two
it's,
vaccines. Get the Pfizer. Get the
yeah,
AstraZeneca. Get Moderna.
get the Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Well, I think for us, like, I'm starting to
So
feel
there's
it a
this,
bit because we've been locked down since March last year,
yeah,
and we had like a few breaks here and there, but it was only a small amount of time.
yeah,
6 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. This has been the longest stint that we've had. Um,
yeah,
but it's like back into lockdown again, at least another 3 weeks,
yeah,
probably 4 weeks at the moment, actually.
God,
And like, we came back into school, all the kids are just completely hooked on their machines.
yeah,
They're just
yeah,
sitting there like dead-eyed zombies, kind of the same as normal, but as soon as you give them free time, it's the machines out there.
yeah, yeah,
And so the teacher was like, we need to ban them from using these things during the day,
yeah,
and we need to talk about tech addiction, blah blah blah. And I'm like, now is not the time to bring that up. It's just they're literally under a movement control order, so they're not going
yeah,
anywhere. They're not doing anything. Everyone's paranoid about catching the virus because we're back up at like 3,000 cases a day.
yeah. And that's literally like the only thing they can do.
Yeah, exactly. And on these devices, they're connected to all their friends who are gaming, or they're
Yeah,
connected on the Discord chat, or they're watching animes together and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like the life has been put on hold for so long. You kind of wonder what we're doing anymore. It's like, what the hell are we even doing this
this
schooling
is,
stuff for? This, we already know the system is
yeah,
backwards. We're just, it's being painfully put in our faces now because of the lack of ability to teach in the way it was. The system structure is not set up and it's floundering.
yeah,
And for the rest of us, work, it's like, I prefer sitting in my pajamas and working from home. I can get up a full hour later than what I did previously.
yeah.
And
I was watching one of the teachers is like a fail video series,
mm,
and it was like someone taking a picture of their Zoom, like a video of their Zoom call with their teacher,
yeah.
and the teacher's in the hot tub. He's like, I'm just gonna do this lesson from the hot tub. I hope everyone's okay with that.
uh, that's just, I mean, the knowledge is here. It doesn't matter where the rest of you is, right? So long as I can.
See, that's someone who's been like disconnected from like the corporate system for too long. You can't put that back in the box.
I can see one where they've got like their face in the massage chair and they're just like, oh, yep, that's the right spot. Oh, God. Now, don't forget to like follow all your decimal points with additional links. Oh, God.
Just a little lower. Yeah, it is definitely structurally changing society.
Yeah, well,
And
here, big time, like, you guys are probably not feeling it as much.
not
There,
at all.
I see in the news from time to time the odd outbreak panic in like Perth. I think they're going through it a bit there, and Victoria.
Yeah, but an outbreak is one person walking around with COVID for a day.
Yeah,
And then they're like, oh my God, he could have infected hundreds of people.
yeah,
Crikey. And then they like test everyone. They're like, nah, she's right. It's all
yeah,
good.
yeah. Oops, nobody. Yeah,
and then everyone goes back out of lockdown after 3 days.
yeah, yeah.
But it's
We're wearing masks. We've been wearing masks for
yeah,
a year and a bit already, year and a couple
uh,
months, and
so disgusting.
Yeah, I'm sick of those things, and you just like you're breathing in it all day, and I'm trying to teach through them, and yeah, it's
I
like,
think even in America now they're saying outside you shouldn't wear a mask.
God, that'd make more sense. Because you sneeze in
Yeah,
them. Do you know how weird it is to sneeze in a mask?
yeah, that's just
You're
like
walking
sneezing
around like
on you.
this.
Yeah, yeah,
Normally, like I'm
that's
running for a hanky or a tissue. I'm like trying to
yeah,
cover it to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Instead, I'm just like, "Boom," and I know it's all right there.
yeah, touching your nose, touching your chin.
Yeah, it's like vomiting
Yeah,
on a roller coaster. Oh
yeah,
God!
on the gravitron.
It's so. But but I mean,
Yeah.
it's gross. It's a bad feeling because I'm feeling it coming on, and I'm like, oh
Oh gosh.
damn, that's all right there.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
they are talking about it. I can't remember if they've done it or not, but a bunch of states have just stopped masks in America, like Florida, Texas. They're like, no
good.
more masks. It's not. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I think they're starting to say outside is okay because of the UV and the
Oh yeah.
disbursement of the air.
That's a
Because it
good
doesn't.
point.
I don't think it can survive in UV.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
during the day, it's fine.
Yeah. Right. Because they were saying like the way that it spread at the quarantine facility in Victoria was that like somebody had the Rona and they coughed in a doorway when they were getting the swabbing done or something, and then
Ah,
it
okay.
stayed in and then floated down the corridor and then stayed in
Yeah,
some spot, and it's like, what is this thing?
yeah. They're not really sure though,
Yeah, they're
because it
not
was
sure.
literally, yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, yeah, but um, no, it's demoralizing, and that's been the hard part.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, extended lockdown like this is really is a tough one. And I as I'm a psych, I'm trying to keep up to date with what are the ways that we can deal with this and so on. But it's like it's a struggle.
yeah,
It's like, what do we do? How do we keep people going? Like it's gonna return to normal, guys. Just hang in there.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you necessarily want it to return to normal. I think there is things that you could get done that are structurally useless now. That have been, like you said, like the teaching styles and stuff like that, that have been proven structurally useless.
Mm,
This is the time where you change those things. It's like
yeah, that's a good
if
point.
they were actually like if you actually wanted to create uh, societal change,
Mm.
now's the time to do it. And that's what they were talking about with the. Have you seen that conspiracy thing? Build Back Better.
No,
Well, it's
although
just
that topic sounds like
so
something.
that's Joe Biden had that as his slogan,
All
but
right.
then someone went and found it like all over Europe and Canada and even in Australia, everyone was using that same phrase,
All right.
and they were saying like it's the this is going to be used as a means to structurally change society.
Not a bad
To
idea.
well, yeah, if it's towards more individual choice and freedom, as opposed
Yeah.
to
Well,
like
yeah.
more control and
That's the thing. Like this AstraZeneca vaccine in Malaysia, where they gave people the choice,
yeah,
that was such a better system. Because like
yeah,
they were no longer saying, originally it was you just turn up and you get what you get on the day. It could be
yeah,
Pfizer,
yeah,
probably not because we're running out in that one quite a lot. It could be AstraZeneca, could be the Sinovac one. We'll see.
yeah,
And a lot of people don't have much trust for certain ones of that, and so they're like, well, I
yeah,
don't like that option. But now it's like, well, here's AstraZeneca, take it if you
yeah,
want it. And they just flooded to it. It's like give people
yeah,
a
yeah.
choice, and they make up their own minds about it.
Yeah, well, that Australia had to do that after the blood clot incident. They had to go, okay, we're just going to give anyone under 50 a choice,
Mm.
and over 50, you're better off taking the AstraZeneca because the risks outweigh the
Yeah.
costs.
Yeah, right. Do they have
But
Pfizer there?
yes, that's the two they have,
Okay.
Pfizer and AstraZeneca.
Okay. But
So
I mean, is it still available there, or have they used
yeah,
it all
yeah,
up?
they haven't even really started doing vaccines yet.
Well, yeah, those 20 people that have the disease anyway. What's the
It's
rush?
like yeah, and I think it kind of worked in their favor because the Johnson and Johnson one got pulled in America.
Mm,
The AstraZeneca one got proven to have blood clotting issues.
yeah,
You're starting to see this stuff come out, and it's because they've delayed it here that you've been able to witness that and not just experience it.
yeah. I am
So we
looking
have
for.
had like 3 or 4 people get blood clots.
Yeah, right. Out of how many shots though?
Wouldn't have been that many.
No, because I did
It's
read that like
yeah.
one dude did die, but they're not sure if it was the actual vaccine doing it anyway.
I mean, you could pretty much say if someone had the vaccine within the last week and then they got a blood clot, it's a high likelihood that they
Yeah,
died from.
yeah. Those two are correlated quite a lot. That
Yeah,
is true.
it's
I don't know how often people are getting blood clots.
yeah. That I can't remember the statistics I was reading, but there was an interesting graph I was looking at yesterday, which was showing it was like what's the likelihood of death versus what's the likelihood of death versus corona
Hmm.
in age brackets, and it was um it was like because the Pfizer affects younger people. No, the AstraZeneca gives blood clots to younger people and mainly women,
All right.
and it's actually more dangerous to get the vaccine if you're younger than it is to get corona if you're younger.
I should tell Ramira then.
Yeah, it basically goes. It's sort of like it starts out like that, and then
Hmm.
as you get older, it goes to that.
Right.
So it's like because the death rates are so high once you're over 70.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, this is the thing. It's like it is just still too early days. I'm still may not end up taking this vaccine, even though I've got the option
Yeah.
to. I might just wait for it and get it in Australia later on.
Well, you can get the Pfizer one here.
Yeah, get the Pfizer one. But I mean, I don't know what the long term effects on that one is either. It may not
It's
be.
so experimental.
Yeah,
So it's
it's the first type vaccine of its type.
yeah. I think at the end of the day, I think it comes down to you might as well just do it because it's kind of like it was I think it was in the same tour that Brett Weinstein was talking about. It's like the collective good versus the individual good,
Yeah,
and he's like the right wing tends to always go for individual good, and the left wing tends to always go for the collective good.
yeah, right.
And the at the end of the day, we're just one person. So it's like it feels like a massive thing,
Mm,
but as a species, there's me dying is not going to affect the world at all.
no, no, it's probably good for it slightly.
Don't be too happy. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I've got my heavenly mansions lined up. I'm ready to move in. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's a lot of Rona talk. Um,
Yeah, didn't intend that, but yeah,
no, but it's just we're back in lockdown. It's like
yeah,
we're,
sucks, dude.
it really is. It's just blowing out here. It's 2,000, 3,000 cases a day. We're losing like maybe 15 to 20 people a day of it.
Yeah, and
Um,
everyone's in towers there, so
yeah, yeah, it's too hot to be outside.
that's. But I mean, it's like it's such close quarters there.
Oh yeah, oh
You get
yeah,
people in elevators and
yeah,
stairwells, and
yeah,
here, like
yeah,
I might go up one set of stairs a day.
yeah, right,
I
yeah,
might
right,
go into an elevator every week.
yeah,
It's
yeah. Whereas
whereas there
it's
it's like
condo living
it's
here.
just standard.
Yeah, my school's got 4 stories to it, so
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
we'll just
It's just a standard way of life there. Whereas
yeah,
here, it's like everything's on ground floor. We go outside. We go out the door, straight outside.
yeah.
You never.
You gotta work pretty hard to transmit the disease there. You gotta really be
Yeah,
out and about.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and there's very few people, and yeah, it kind of
yeah,
there is a reason why it hasn't
yeah,
gotten any foothold here. Even if people did, there could have been people that were infected here,
yeah.
but they just never passed it on. You just,
Well, yeah. I mean, the flu's contagious, right? And there's quite a lot of people that just don't catch it.
yeah,
It's-
yeah. I'm very, I might get sick once every like 3 or 4 years,
oh, jeez.
like properly, like a proper. Okay, I've probably got the flu now.
Right.
It's very rare.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But yeah. Anyway, we got 10 minutes.
Oh, let's just talk about D&D then.
uh, yeah. All right. Might as well wrap it up. Although I didn't watch the one that you sent me about Jeremy Corbell.
Mm, it's 4 hours long, so don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. I
I
won't
I
just.
haven't, I haven't even start. I haven't finished watching it.
Right. 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 Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. Won't do. Although
yeah,
I do want to bring up about the graphene stuff. I thought that was hilarious. Like this
yeah,
this stuff graphene is so cool. It's like it's an atom thick sheet,
yeah.
and
One-dimensional layer.
yeah, and like it's
Well, two-dimensional.
flexible,
Yeah.
and it's
Conductive.
10 or 100 times stronger than steel or something, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's got all these awesome properties to it.
yeah,
And yeah, and the thing that's come out is like we're gonna make condoms out of it because
yeah.
it's basically
Let's
gonna be
wrap
this
it up.
invisible sheath that you can slip over, and
Like, where is it?
yeah,
Oh,
but
that's funny.
but like you made a good point. It's like, oh, we got this new wonder material. Let's put it on. But how much of new tech would like really soar if they did introduce porn usage for it?
Everything does.
Yeah. I mean, how good would
Yeah.
that be? There's so many cool inventions out there that if you can suddenly say this will enhance like sexual
Hmm.
activities and whatever, suddenly people would be like, yes, we should definitely spend more money on that. You get private investment everywhere. Like you imagine, right? If this graphene, you can use it to be like an LED. It can conduct.
Mm.
What does it do? It traps light and it slows it down to almost the speed at which electron transfer occurs, and so you can get this like ability to emit electron or energy off
Oh, okay.
this
Yeah.
stuff as light, and so it's a way more efficient light source. Now they can also use it to create scaffolds for building organs and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So here's
Yeah.
where I'm
And they're
thinking
doing it.
where you
They're
go
also
with.
using
Oh,
it. They're also using it for building like nanotubes and stuff
yeah,
because
you can
you
wrap it
can
around
wrap it.
itself. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. These I think Aussies were using it for water filtration. You could basically
Oh,
take
yeah,
any
yeah. I
type
saw
of
that.
water
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But here's what I'm thinking, right? You can make it an LED and you can grow organs out of it. Glow in the dark nipples. How good is that?
Sold.
Or you can have
Here's my
like
money.
the G spot indicator, right? You can get it glows at night. Found it.
Landing strip. Yeah,
Yeah, that would get taken off. So you know that would turn into a freaky nightclub thing or sex club thing that people
what
would
I
definitely
mean,
take up.
but even nightclub use, like the people, they've always wanted that, like remember when they made the LED shirts that like lit up,
Yeah,
but they were just a little too clunky.
yeah,
It's like you had to have batteries in it, and it
yeah.
was like it was a bit. But imagine if you just had like single strands of light that you could just wear on your arm.
You can
That were,
tattoo that stuff on you.
yeah, yeah, but that was indetectable.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, exactly.
cool,
Like
cool.
during the day, it's just these very
Yeah,
faint lines on you or something, and then
yeah,
at night, because they're saying like the way this stuff can work, it's got like a photo charging property to it. So
Oh, okay.
and it's
Yeah.
semi-transparent, or it's quite
Well,
transparent. So you could end up putting it into your clothing. You could walk around during the day and charge your
yeah,
wearable devices, or you could charge
yeah.
your tattooed whatever tech.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you could have like your augmented hearing whatever, and it just charges on you as you walk around during the day.
So it's just always there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, did I? I don't know if we ever talked about graphene before, but the way they did you read how they found it? Like, so
No.
they always had this like they always had the model like that you could probably do this. But basically, what you do is you take graphite and you put sticky tape on it and lift the sticky tape off, and you get graphene.
No.
Dead serious. And up and because it's really hard to make, right?
Yeah.
So this is the only way they do it, right?
No. You're reading a fake article there. That's some dude in a lab coat.
I swear to you.
Bob, get the sticky tape. We're making some graphene today. It's like,
I
yes.
swear to you, that's how they make it. And then look it up quickly. Look it
Yeah.
up. Just look it up. Just look it up quickly. Just go
How was
graphene.
Yeah.
How is graphene? I mean, they've got more advanced in the last couple of years, so that they now have a method. They've just sort of started making a method to mass produce it.
All right.
But
One Friday, two scientists removed some flakes from a lump of bulk graphite with sticky tape. No. By separating the graphite fragments repeatedly, they managed to create flakes that were just 1 atom thick. They made a 1 atom thick with sticky tape and a
yep,
block of bulk graphite.
told you, man. We could have accidentally done this with our pencils back in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane. That feels like one of those like legend stories, you know? It's
Yeah,
not the real
yeah.
way. It was actually some dudes passing like electric
Yeah.
fields through it in a gravitational field, and it managed to level it out or something. They're like, no, sticky tape and a block of graphite. Go to it, guys. You can make this stuff. That's
We tried blue tack first, but it didn't work.
No way.
Yeah, but see, because that was the only way they could think of it, or they could manage to do it, they couldn't get big sheets,
Yeah.
and that's been the biggest problem, is getting like long continuous sheets of it.
Yeah, right.
And there's actually a way, I think I was reading, if you put two layers really close together,
Oh, yeah.
that's where you can get the electrons. You can direct electrons.
Yeah, you can get superconductivity out of it because it's
Yeah.
what is it? A resistance-free electron path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So that it just like
And the
shoots through.
temperature that they can do it is potentially like room temperature.
Yeah. So what you do is you get one piece of sticky tape, and then you get another piece of sticky tape on the other hand. You got to put a loop. So you put a loop on your hand, stick
yeah.
it to your hand,
Oh yeah, what was it? You
stick
gotta
it, and then you like do this.
you bloody
Superconductor.
genius.
Superconductor, mate.
That's just
Anyway,
insane.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that is funny because they're talking about like
Yeah.
it's just like a pure form of carbon.
It's just graphite. It's
Yeah.
like it's like you know how excuse me. Have you ever do you remember chemistry where they talked about graphite actually being two-dimensional sheets sliding over each other?
All right. No, I
So
didn't.
it was always that's how they always talked about graphite, and they're like, that's why you can write because it just like slides off. And there's always been this theory that you could get a sheet of this stuff, but they've never had a method until sticky tape.
Because like the usage of it that they're coming up with now is just an incredible substance.
Mm.
But yeah. Anyway, definitely bring it into the porn industry. It will take off. The cost of its manufacture will go way down. And there'll be
You
a
need to
whole
get
bunch
some
of people
patents.
with glow-in-the-dark nipples running around.
Anyway,
Yeah,
D&D
D&D wrap up.
before you run off.
Yeah. So, we were... Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll get to it. We were... Because there's a part that really pissed me off, but it came about because of good character playing and role playing. So we were hunting down my character's family that had been stolen by frost giants. We managed to track them and got close, but they got waylaid. The giants got waylaid by a bunch of gnolls.
Yep.
Who stole one of the sacks filled with giants, or these whatever they were. What's our race? Goliaths. Dragged off to a cave, and so we went in and fought them. And like this week's game, we kind of finished them off and rescued the people from the sack.
Yeah, so we finished last game with pretty much all the gnolls dead and one charmed.
Yeah. And so we rescued the people out of the giant sack, and they all had these magic collars on them that seemed to be keeping them unconscious. And like my character rolled a natural 20, managed to unpick and disable this device, and we saved the people. They regained consciousness.
Which I was really waiting for Guinness to do that, but yeah, anyway.
Oh, really? Is
I was
it just
like,
an unpick
surely
thing?
Well, he could have. Like, he could have, I was like, anyway.
Yeah, it's a tiny little latch. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, he was busy looting. He was just running around.
He was having a field day.
But there was also some lady chained up with a bunch of limbs looking like they've been removed and whatnot. But not quite sure about this chick yet, but she seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
But one of the prisoners we released was like my character's older brother, who was like a leader for the family.
Yeah.
And that's the part that really pissed me off, because you played him like, step aside, I'm back in charge, I'll do this. And Mike was just like, no, I've worked so hard for it. so I'm like, awesome. I'm just passive aggressiving my way through this game. I'm just like, this is coming way too naturally to you, Simon. I don't like this.
I drew on my inner big brother.
Oh dear. But it's like, is bringing up all my childhood days, like, because I'm the younger brother of like two older brothers. So I'm just like,
there you go.
I'm raging, but I've done all the hard work.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was exactly that. And I'm the older brother of two kids. So.
Yeah, that's right. So it pissed me off because of the right setup for roleplay that came out of it. I was just like, calm down, Chris. It's fine. This is not you. This is your character. He'll be okay. He can go eat a tub of ice cream afterwards. I'm just going to let my guy get fat. Just bloom out. Just eating his feelings for a while.
That's funny.
But, we're now...
Yeah, I'm very proud of that choice, by the way. That was a really good character choice.
Well, it's created an interesting dynamic for the group, with a bit of NPC happening.
Except that he
stormed off.
No. After that.
What did he do after that? Well, we've caught up with him, right?
Yeah, and then?
I just remember what happened right at the end there.
Giant creature.
Oh no, that's right. We saw them in the distance, isn't it? No.
You're forgetting it. So a giant worm-like centipede creature.
All right, that was right at the end of the night.
Yeah.
It's like the worm thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We've all surrounded it, and he's been swallowed by it. Oh my god, I forgot about that part. Yeah, that was like the last thing. He's like, I'll find it, runs in, and this thing just goes, oh.
And literally, there was 3 of you around it, and I rolled his number. So I was like, oh well.
I mean, because
That's
of the
the end
way
of it.
that role playing has lined it up, I don't feel all that bad about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
That was everyone was like,
yeah,
oh,
it's like we should save him. Oh, we could have a meal. I mean, you know, we've got time.
I'm
Wait
sure we
for
can
him.
bring him back.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So that. All right. So that's what we're walking into for the next game. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess that one can be hurry up Saturday because that's when we're playing that one.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I do need to head off shortly. So
No,
we'll
cool.
wrap it up for
Short
an
and sweet.
hour. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll catch you guys later.